Hello, hello, my desmadre souls. Welcome to Coming Home to Self No Bypassing, where we have honest conversations with our inner voice aloud. This is a space for unfiltered reflection, spiritual growth, messy truths, and yes, a little bit of humor along the way, because we are here for the human experience and not to achieve perfection. I am Asa Luna, and this is our journey home. The desmadre of the day. Um, I just want to express myself, how I've been feeling these past days. They've been so busy actually, just with a lot of things going on in my personal life, and a lot of things have been going through my head. And one of them was, so I had postpartum depression, and that was really big on me. I felt very not myself. I felt upset and just a lot of bad negativity, bad energy, and everything was negative because of that. And I think that was something I had to go through. Like if you listen to my other episodes, and the last one I was talking about how sometimes things happen and then we translate them as something bad, but in reality, it's like a wake up call. That's what I think it is. And I'm sure of that. For me, that's what it was. I I know that a lot of people say there has to be some bad so you can appreciate the good. Because if everything was good, you wouldn't have anything to compare it. And I'm like, well, that's silly, right? Why does it have to be like that? But it's true. Because there has to be some balance. And I think with me getting myself right and getting back to myself instead of being in that negativity and that mindset and that postpartum depression, like there was something going on beyond my comprehension, I guess. My brain was going through something. um but that was clouding my judgment, and I was just living in a lot of negativity and just angry and being upset about everything and blaming everybody. Like victim mentality type of thing. But since I got myself right, I noticed the things that they used to bother me like a lot, or people that used to make me upset, or things like that. When I say before, I mean like before, when I was in the postpartum, when I was in that mindset of negativity and was in not in my best ASA version. Um, I will feel very upset, and people would do things and I will get really upset and angry, and sometimes I will like just be holding angriness and don't want to talk to I didn't want to talk to these people, or I didn't want um just situations like that to happen, but in reality I was almost like addicted to it. And I couldn't seem to move past that for some reason. Like I couldn't think right anymore. So now that I'm better, it's just so amazing. I realize how it doesn't affect me anymore. Um, like things that hurt me and things that at some point made me really upset, they don't bother me anymore. And I felt so proud of myself because that's growth for me. Because before I was like, man, just a few months ago, I was just so upset about this and about that. And I was so angry. I had the opportunity of dealing with people that the situations happen, bad stuff or arguments or things like that. And now I'm like, I feel bad for these people, or I just feel like I now want to understand why why are you acting this way? And I almost feel bad about them still being stuck on this mindset that I was in a few months ago. Now I can see beyond that. Now I see, instead of being in the mess, now I'm outside the mess and looking out. Not like if I'm in a balcony and I'm looking. Now I can see past that. Now I can put a, like, step back and then look at the chaos instead of being in it. And that's like huge. That just makes me feel so proud of myself, that I was able to overcome that mess and I was able to come out of the mess. And now I can feel the feelings that I used to feel before, but then I just feel them and I sit with them. I almost like analyze the feelings and I try to understand what's the root cause of that issue. And everything points of the issue being me, being in such a negative mindset that I was feeding off of that. And then instead of just saying, okay, yeah, that was bad or whatever that made me angry, now move on, I was just stuck there and trying to like get more and more and more and more and just be in it. And then, but then at the same time, I wanted to get out, but then I just didn't know how. And I don't know if you ever felt like that, like you're almost stuck and then you want to get out, but then you're still in it. And it's like a very like helpless feeling. Like it makes you feel like you can't get out. You can't seem to be able to do anything about it. You feel trapped. That's how I was feeling. I was feeling trapped by my own decisions, by my own choices, by my own mind, by my own brain, by my own feelings. And I think that is what depression is, and in a bad being in a bad state. When your brain is just not working properly with your mind and your soul. When just you, I guess you become, I was reading about, I love reading about the brain and how our brain works. I just love that. And I was reading that sometimes when we start asking ourselves deeper questions and deeper questions and deeper questions and deeper questions, like a little kid, like why, but why, but why, but why, you get to the root cause and you're like, whoa, I didn't even realize that that was bothering me still, or that was bothering me from my childhood, or that was bothering me from years ago or months ago or whatever reason. And sometimes it's not even what the people is doing at the moment. It's because it's reminding you of traumas that you suffered before. And I think me understanding that and me going through that and me understanding that the reason why all this toxic environment was evolving around me, it's because me, the awareness of that, the accountability of me saying, yes, I did that. It's amazing because part of me, the ego, right? The ego part of me with my mind is telling me, no, you're the victim here. Don't accept that. Don't accept that, yes, it's your body and you can change it. Like it's them being rude, And it's crazy because now I'm like, no, you know what? That's just my pride. That's just my ego. That's just me saying that it's not me. But in reality, it is me. And but the beautiful thing about that is that you can change that. I could change that. Once I realized that it was me and all along was me attracting all this stuff, and I could move anytime I want, anytime I made the choice to actually do so and do something about to fix myself and get myself right. I was able to free myself. I was able to be myself again. I was able to leave all that behind, get out of that mess, and now see it from, like, when you go see a concert, right? You're not in the concert, you're just watching it happening like that. I think that's the most amazing feeling. I read a lot of books and I listen to a lot of podcasts and stuff like that for self help and self growth and how your brain works and like as a human and all this stuff. And I love that. I just love learning that. And that's why I wanted to do this podcast about this, because I want to share my what I learned and what I've been going through, and just somebody is stuck in this chaos. I want to help to get you unstuck. Because it is possible. Sometimes it feels like I felt if you would have asked me a few months ago, I would have told you, yeah, no, I guess this is it. I guess this is what it meant to have a family, and this is what it meant to grow up, and this is what it meant to become an adult. I guess this is it. Because it does feel like that. It feels like there is no turnaround, there is no outlet. But there is. And once you find that and accept that and work on yourself, everything else will fix itself. It really will. Even when you think, well, what about that person that did this to me? What about this? Doesn't matter. Once you're not in that mindset, you absolutely take away any control or any type of strings that these people had attached to you, because you cut these strings, because you get rid of all this manipulation and all this negative energy, because you're not in the frequency anymore. Because if you elevate yourself to being positive, to being happy, to accept self help, self recognition of the things that you've done, accountability, once you take that step and realize that your whole life is literally around you, you create your own life, your own reality. And once you accept that, then you can make the changes that need to be changed for you to move on, for you to continue your journey, and for you to not be stuck in the chaos. And again, it's not going to be perfect. Life is not something else going to come. But then now you're going to have those tools and those experiences that you'll be able to navigate through the chaos a little better than the chaos before that one. So every chaos makes you stronger. Every chaos, it helps you to learn something about yourself. The chaos makes you to be a better person. And now you also get to know yourself to decide, this is not who I want to be again. This is not the life that I enjoy. This is not what I wanted for me. So once you fix yourself, everything else around you, it just starts working out. It really does. I know it sounds magical, but guess what? We live in a crazy world. And if right now you don't believe all this, if right now you don't think that's possible, just give it a try. Just try it. Just do it as an experiment if you want to. But it does help. It does help. Once you're not in that mindset, that can't be around you anymore. Like, it really does work like that. Because I do. I do feel like before I've been up and down. And I think for the longest time I was able to stay very positive. Like everybody around me, like before I got into this postpartum depression, Asa, I was a happy Asa, the positive Asa, and everybody around me could say, if you can tell something about me, it was, oh, Asa, Asa's always positive. Always, Asa always finds how to turn it around and say, oh, but this is a good thing about this. I was that kind of person and go with the flow. And if my tire popped or something, I would be like, oh, it was just meant to be, because maybe there was an accident, or, maybe it's something for some reason. I will always look the bright side. And it could never face me. Nothing could really affect me, because I will always be like, oh, uh, it's okay. This is the reason why it happened. And I think that when you're like that, it's such a beautiful thing, because you just, every experience, you see it as a learning experience, versus, oh, the world is attacking me and God hates me and blah blah blah. I'm sorry, but if you have that mentality, that's everything that starts happening around you, it's just gonna keep bringing you down and bring you down, bring you down. And next thing you know, you are this negative, bitter, angry person, and everybody around you don't want to be around you. And you hurt the people that you love the most, and most importantly, you are hurting yourself. So once you choose you, and once you choose to take accountability and realize that you can change who you are and your environment around you, trust me, you will elevate yourself to a better frequency, to a better vibe, and life is going to be so much better. And for me, because work, I realized that about me, work was kind of something that defined me like big time, like big percentage of myself. And always my thing was, well, what about work? What if work is very toxic? Like, I can't just leave my work. Like, how am I gonna pay my rent? How am I gonna pay my mortgage? How am I gonna pay my this or that, blah blah? And it's like, I'm gonna tell you something. I think God in life gave me a huge, humbling lesson that it was. Um, I had a really good job. I was making a lot, really good financially, not really good emotionally or mentally or physically. I had a really financial, really good, stable job. I had a lot of money coming in, and there was no struggle financially at all in that time. And I said, there's no way I can leave this. Like, there's no way I can just move on. Like, there's no way I can just leave my job. Like, I mean, it's toxic, but I just cannot. I cannot move from here because how am I going to pay my bills? Like, no. Like, I just had to endure it. And, you know, life is just like that. It's just so ironic like that. Um, I was having panic attacks. I was having anxiety attacks. I was literally just like a little kid, don't want to go to school. It felt really bad. It ended up being really, really bad. And I didn't want to leave because financially, right? Oh man, how am I going to do this? And the economic, the economy right now is not really good for me. I mean, that's what I was thinking. Because there's a lot of electricians that don't have a job right now. So I'm like, I just need to stick around. I just need to, just endure it. And then I got fired, wrongfully fired. I got accused of many things. My name through the floors, not getting any income, not even because they said so many things about me and they tried to lie about all this stuff and it was terrible. And then so not even unemployment, right? I wasn't even receiving any unemployment, like still until today I still haven't. And I mean, that's just crazy because I didn't want to leave this job because I didn't want to lose this income, and then I lost it anyways. They robbed me from my own choice. And honestly, it's not that they did. I did that. I robbed myself from making the choice for myself and choosing me and choosing my happiness. I decided to stay there, and so what? It still ended. Nothing is forever, and a job will replace you in a heartbeat. You're just a number. But in my family, in my life, there is no replacing. So therefore, that's why you have to decide, learn from my experience. I was being in a very toxic environment, but I know God was watching for me. He's always been on my corner. My dad used to pray for me all the time. My mom used to pray for me every day. And I know their prayers is still protecting me until this day. And I know that God knew that that was not a spot for me. And I did save money. I but if you ask me how the heck have I survived all these months without income, I don't know. Um, because before I would have been like, no, I have to work like 60, 70 hours a week for me to make my living and blah, 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 and pay my mortgage and pay my car and pay this and pay that. Oh my goodness, I want to die. But then God has shown me that that's not the way of living. That's not my purpose. And that was big for me because I stayed in just for the financial stability because I doubt that God was going to help me. And even though I didn't say it aloud, and even though I didn't know then, but now that's how I see it. I didn't think God could provide for me. And I decided to take the matter into my own hands. But in reality, he has my back, and I feel better. And I think that's worth a lot more than any money, because I was just like breathing and I was moving and I was being alive, kind of, but I was actually dead inside. And I was unhappy and I was angry and I was creating issues and I was hurting my husband and I was hurting my life, m- my friends, my everything, because I was not well. I was not in a good mindset. And since I left that job, or that job left me, however it works out, I felt like on chain. I feel relief. I liberated myself. I feel even better than before. I feel happy. I feel like I'm busy all the time, but I'm busy because living life. I'm doing things. I'm experiencing things. And haven't spent that much money. I just, I've been going to the park. I've been going on walks. Been going for drives. We've been hanging out at home, cleaning my house, decluttering, getting ready, like going to the gym. And I'm like, gosh, like I can't believe I spent so much time being miserable. And I just want to invite you to remember who you are. Don't let others make decisions for you, because sooner or later they could replace you and they won't even give you a warning. Um, so don't stay in a place when you're not happy. That whether that's a relationship, whether that's a job, whether that's just people around you. Don't endure a friendship, even a friendship, just because you feel like that friend is just that's the only person you have. There's so many people out here. There's so many other ways, and you just need to know that you need to be present for you and your family and for the people that you love. Because if you think about it, if you die tomorrow or if you get fired tomorrow, the only ones that are going to be there for you are the ones that actually love you and yourself. You live in your body, you are you, so make sure that is a good space to be. So take care of yourself, and yeah, just the goal is be happy. So if you're not happy, move before somebody else move you. So yeah, thank you for listening to this message from my inner voice aloud. Thank you for being here. If anything I share resonated with you, just know you are not alone. I hope you can be here Monday. No, Monday. Today's Monday. See, I don't even know what day it is. Hopefully, you're here Thursday. Anyways, I hope you're here Thursday for my next adventure. But just do something that gets you out of your comfort zone and pursue your happiness. Do something that makes you be happy, makes you be you. So stay messy, stay curious, do something that scares you today, and don't forget to listen to your true inner voice. Bye bye.